Hello and welcome to another vlog on the channel, and today we are back at Alton Towers. This is actually my first visit to the park since opening day, which was in March, so about I think 5 months ago. Yeah, obviously between now and when I last visited, I've been to like a lot of different other theme parks in the UK, so like Pleasure Beach, Greater Manor and Thorpe Park. But now I'm back at Alton Towers to see how things have been going, like how operations have been at the park, ride availability, etc. Whether anything's improved or changed since last time, and obviously getting on all the other attractions that I haven't been on in a while, because obviously I've not been to the park in 5 months. Obviously since last time I was here, Skyrider's reopened, along with Hex and the Rapids, because they were closed at the start of the season. But Skyride has actually reopened after over 2 years of closure. Now that doesn't open for the day until 11:30, and it's currently about 10:15 in the morning. So I'm gonna walk over to Forbidden Valley to get on Nemesis Reborn, Subterra and Toxicator and Galactica. So I'll see you when I get over there. So I've just had my first ride of the day on Toxicator, and that was so much fun. Thankfully, I didn't get really that wet because I don't think they have turned up the fountains yet. But I think they might turn them up later on in the day, or maybe it's weather related because it is not the warmest day ever. I don't know, but that was really fun. And what I noticed about that ride cycle compared to when I went to an opening day, I noticed a couple of things. One, it's not squeaking nearly as much as it did on opening day, so maybe that's saying that they applied some WD-40 to it, which is a good sign. And also I don't know if it's just me, but I think it was running a little bit faster as well, because towards the end of the attraction, when it does those 3 like big flips, it sort of now does like a 4th flip as well, but it depends how fast it's going, because that 4th flip it will sometimes complete, but then it will sort of go like halfway upside down and then come back. So that was very interesting. So that's a different part of the cycle that weren't there on opening day, so that was really cool. Yeah, great ride Toxicator, I love it. So now we're getting on Nemesis Reborn just here, so I'll see you when we've come off that. So I've just ridden Nemesis Reborn, and that was a phenomenal ride. You know, it's a very intense roller coaster, one of the most intense coasters in the UK. It actually rode quite good as well. It weren't too rattly. I think we were on train 2. If anyone knows which train is the rattly one out of the 2, or if it's both, I mean, obviously I know it can depend what time of day. It was a good ride overall, but I just wish to get that rattle sorted out, because I've noticed that it's getting progressively worse, and has been since the ride reopened last season. So I've just had a ride through Nemesis Subterra, and it's a wonderful little dark ride. You know, it's something different in Forbidden Valley other than the big roller coasters and Toxicator, because it's an indoor experience. It's a fully immersive attraction. I actually do really like the sort of the detail they put in like the main sort of central observation chamber with like the egg and whatnot, and that effect of like the egg hatching, it's got to be probably one of the best like special effects at Alton Towers in my opinion. So yeah, I really enjoyed Nemesis Subterra, and I'm glad they've reopened it back in 2023, because we all know that it was standing but not operating from 2015 for 8 years. So I'm glad they've reopened it a couple of seasons ago. But now I'm going towards Galactica to get on basically the final ride of Forbidden Valley, so I'll see you when I get over there. I've just ridden Galactica, and that was a really good ride, although I do definitely think that was actually the first, I think that was the first ride of the season I had on Galactica, because I didn't get it on opening day. It's a good ride, but I said it every time, I do definitely think that they should like just re-theme it all, just give it a whole new theming, clean up and everything, because I mean, it's alright, it's Galactica theme at the moment, but it don't really fit into Forbidden Valley. And also the ride itself, like around the theme, it is starting to sort of look worn down and run down and sort of worn, the attraction, so it does definitely need like a re-theme to fit in with the rest of Forbidden Valley. You know, because otherwise what's really the point of keeping it otherwise? But other than that, it's a good ride, but I just think if it's got like a massive queue, then I wouldn't like a rush to it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, we're now going towards Wicker Man, which has been closed for the past few days, but it's actually reopened, so I'll see you when I get over to Wicker Man. Ridden Wicker Man, and what an incredible wooden coaster that is. Like, it's completely different to any other wooden roller coaster in this country, mainly because it's much more modern attraction compared to like a lot of the other ones. It's incredibly fast, very whippy around like the corners and the transitions. It's very intense. You get quite a lot of airtime as you go over each hill, and also literally every time you pass through the Wicker Man statue just there, that is an incredible moment on each part as a rider to pass through it, because you pass through that 3 times, and each time you pass through it the flames go up on his shoulders. So that's an incredible, that's probably probably one of the best parts of the ride. But yeah, I honestly love Wicker Man. So now I'm actually going to get on the Sky Ride now and head over to Dark Forest. So I'll see you when I get on the Sky Ride, and I'll show you what it's like and if anything's actually changed since it last operated a couple of years ago.
It might go on it, but it depends on how long the queue's like. We're going to go over to the valley, knock some of those rides off, and then if we have time, we'll try and go over to Smile. Check for you. So let's try and go and 15 minutes away. And then this is after is half an hour. So we'll be able to knock out a few rides. Is that Reborn? Yeah, Reborn. And then we'll go and Gardens go after. Yeah, there's 15 minutes. So that's a bit longer. So depending on the time, we might go. Oblivion? I'd like to try and one either Oblivion or Smile. Those are the big things.
Ayun, di ba yung tinamay din sa sakinanan, Claire? Kaya naman pala.
15 minutes ang queue time.
Eh, ang sulit naman, no? Sulit. Di siya ganun kaano pala. I can't wait for that one. Kaya na lang.
I
was worried this would happen.
The natural temple they told to some of the biggest ghosts and miracles ever likely. One super sized ghost cart goes by the name of Jaws. Well, he weighs a whopping 30 pounds and measures a mighty metre in length. Crikey, wildlife is everywhere in the park. And indeed, there are some pretty wild stories about how some of them are rebels in the fight roller coaster lifestyle. Turns out that is the whole
Ay, maliit na mo ito. Sayo ko na to. Alam mo, ito yung pinaka-nakakatang focus tayo dyan. Kamaya mag-focus tayo ha. Tignan mo.
He managed to go his own route at a time when the banana was an incredibly The present day celebration of the Earl's early work and the mission of the 12 green-fingered gardeners here today is to stay true to Earl's vision. And that just leaves me to say, with the Sky Ride now poised to dock, that we hope you love the ride, and we hope you venture down to the gardens to soak in their splendour for yourself. Enjoy your escape to Alton Towers Resort.
Hindi pa natin nakakari yung guard.
Kasi hindi ko na ito kaya. Ayoko na ito. Ayoko na mag-wiltan nito. Alam mo, may short din na hulog.
I was trying to watch that. He's speaking a whole different language.
I'm not going. I'm not doing it. It's a precious. I want it. I'm not doing it. I'm not.
not competition.
Don't like it.
It's not us, it's the car.
Oh, good.
Give me that.
It's alright. Oh, wow.
Where?
Daddy included it. Oh, it's not us, they stop it to let people on. Wow.
Flying with the birds, taking in the view. It is quite a view, isn't it? But it might interest you to know that the gardens here haven't always been the lush, vibrant, green and pleasant pastures that we see today.
Picture.
Extensive work described by the 15th Earl in the early 19th century, situated in one of the wildest and most desolate moorland hills. And the gorgeous greens that you can now see all stem from beautiful brew. Because of course one marvellous magical ingredient that keeps the park flowing nicely is not just any old water, no. Every lake, cascade, fountain and general water feature Alton Towers Resort is served by the natural springs of the nearby Weaver Hills. Next time you hear
If you want to swap with me?
rest assured that the water
Look at that. Well, this is the bit that we come over. See that walkway up there? Look.
rolled over by the jaw.
Hey, this is the bit that we-
You're not allowed
Look,
to.
don't look at him. This is the bit up there where the duck pond is. That massive pond that you said there's nothing in it. This is the bit that we look down on, so there's a waterfall over here somewhere.
To some of the biggest
Isn't it?
ghost and mirror carts you're ever likely to see.
Yeah? Oh wow, Daddy, look at that.
A jumper-sized ghost cart goes by the name of Jaws.
Dad, it's his nose standing up there.
It doesn't matter, he's
And
alright.
measures a mighty metre in length. Crikey. Wildlife is everywhere in the park.
Wow.
And indeed there is
Do you remember being on this? No, you ain't.
in the park
Yeah,
roller coaster lifestyle.
Yeah, but this is actually where we want to go.
Yeah,
but we just go around.
No, we can go back down that way if we want.
No, we'll go in the park and
Day
we'll
before
get back
going out
out.
to
Be
play
a whole
the
day.
falls. It's always the quiet ones, I tell you.
This is
I wanna wait on you.
You want to do a whole loop?
Yeah.
a whole loop.
Same
Paddy?
we said of the 16th Earl during
This
his
is where we
time.
want to get off though.
He managed to go
This is the way. No, this is the rabbit street. See, look how quick that was. This is 13.
I like
There you go.
I'm not going on 13.
That's the one you said you want to go
Mission
on.
of the 12 green finger gardens here today is to stay.
Mummy, you can include it.
No, that's Rita, sorry. That's Rita.
Mummy,
No, it's a different ride. It's a different ride.
And we
That's
hope
Rita.
that
Why not really? That's fast.
Yeah, that's for you and Max. I think it was fun.
enjoy this.
but I like 13.
Yeah, it's down there.
Is it too scary?
No, it's like a animated.
So where does that go then? Charlie? That goes back round and then right to left.
No, it goes around the whole thing. So that's Hex there, Max.
You can't go around the whole
This
thing.
is-
You said it goes through.
It goes, yeah,
We
it goes
get off
in-
here.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
getting
we're
off here.
getting off here. It goes to Tower Street, Paul. You know, in the middle.
So where are we going to now? We're
We're getting off here.
Undo your safety belt and exit to the left.
We asked.
That was fun. It's not. I mean,
I want to do a loop.
Could just walk down.
Mommy, I want to do a loop. I want to do a
no,
loop.
that would take.
So I'm here in Dark Forest, and I'm honestly not sure what's going on with Rita at the moment. Because as we've just seen on the Sky Rides, they're actually putting one of the trains into the maintenance shed by the looks of it. And both trains are currently empty. Now there's still people in the queue, so whether they'll get it back up and running with like loading passengers on in a few moments, I don't know. So for now I'm going to head towards 13, which I know is running because I've seen people on the ride. So I'm going to head towards 13 and I'll see you when I get there. So I've just had a ride on 13 and it's a great family coaster. You know, the best part of the ride is obviously the drop track as it drops down in complete darkness. And and you know that was actually the world's first drop track, and it's the first ever multi-dimension coaster from Intamin. It's such a really cool ride. Personally, I think that considering how like dark of a theme it is, having it be a family coaster seems a bit strange, considering it's got such a dark and scary theme. Having just like a little family coaster. I mean, sort of the scary part is that, yeah, the drop track, if you've never been on the ride and you somehow haven't seen spoilers, even though it's been open for 15 years, you're not really going to know about the drop track. So that could be quite shocking and unexpected. So that's probably where I suppose the thrill factor goes into it. But other than that, it's a good little ride. And as I've gotten off 13, I've just found Rita is actually back open. So that's good news, and I'm going to get in the queue for Rita right now.
I'm sorry. Olivia's going to see you.
So I finally got on Rita for the first time this season as well. So that's the second ride Alton Towers said I've actually ridden for the first time this year. And that was a pretty good ride. You know, the launch is obviously the best bit because it's such a fast, punchy launch. It's like even with the countdown, you don't expect to see, no matter how much you brace yourself, like the launch, it just honestly, it's so much fun. And you get some pretty solid airtime over those hills you have. But literally, only right with it is literally quite. I know I'm not really like, I don't hate short rides, but for what it does in the amount of time it has, it could definitely be better. So maybe in a few years' time, when it's time for it to close, perhaps they could replace it with a modern launch coaster with more elements, a longer layout, maybe even some inversions as well. So that would be really good. That's just me fantasizing though. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. Whether it's going to happen, if Alton Towers continues at the rate that they sort of have been recently, then it might not happen. But if they improve, then hopefully that might happen. Although, to be fair, today hasn't actually been too bad. Like, literally the only ride I've seen that has had downtime is Rita, and that they got that back open quite quickly. So that's been quite good. Yeah, it's been a pretty good day so far. So now I'm going to go towards Hex. So I'll see you when I've got off Hex. So sadly, it does look like that Hex is not open at the moment because the queue line is empty, the doors are shut, and there's a staff member directing people away from the queue. Now I have just checked the app, and the only 2 rides that are closed at the moment are Hex and Big Go Around in CBeebies Land. So everything else, as far as I can see, is open. So I think, because Hex isn't open, I ought to go down to X Sector to get on the Smiler and Oblivion. So I'll see you when I reach X Sector. So I've just ridden the Smiler just here, and it is so good to finally get back on the best roller coaster at Alton Towers, in my opinion anyway. It's such a disorienting experience because you've got all those inversions, which is the highest number of inversions on any roller coaster on the planet, with 14. And each one, you just sort of blur through them. It's honestly insane. Like, and it's such a long ride experience as well. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the longest coaster at Alton Towers, both in track length and duration. And yeah, it's such a fun and disorienting experience. The effects on there are also quite good as well, like especially with like the Marmalizer structure in the middle of the attraction. That's probably like, and also the what's known as the Staffordshire Knot, where it's the bat wing and the cobra all sort of intertwined with each other. That's probably like the best part of the ride. It's actually insane. Yes, we're going to get on Oblivion now, and I'll see you when I've come off of that. So I've just ridden Oblivion, and that was a fantastic ride. Obviously, you know, the drop into the 180-foot drop into the tunnel underground, honestly, is probably one of the most iconic roller coaster moments in the UK and probably even in the world as well. But something I did notice about Oblivion's operations today, normally they load 2 trains at once in the station, but today they were only loading 1 train at once, and all the other trains were either going up the lift hill and around the ride or on the brakes behind the station. Why they're doing that instead of just doing it how they normally do, I have no idea, but that did sort of slow down the operations a little bit on Oblivion, because they were loading only 1 train at once, which seats about 16 people. So if they were loading 2 trains like they normally do, they could have got 32 people out of the queue seated. But why did they choose to do it like this, I don't know. But I'm heading towards Spinball Wizard now, so I'll see you when I've gone on Spinball. So just had a ride on Spinball Whizzer over here, and that was a good little spinning coaster. It is quite rough in some areas, especially like literally, basically whenever you're turning just after like the main course brake runs. It is a good ride, but I do prefer Dragon's Fury at Chessington World of Adventures purely because that is a smoother ride experience than this. Still quite good go. I definitely always enjoy a good ride on Spinball Whizzer. So that is it for today's vlog here at Alton Towers, and I must say this whole day has actually been an improvement compared to opening day, because let's not forget, if you were there at opening day, then it's no secret that apart from obviously the opening of Toxicator, opening day this year was a shambles. Like literally ride availability was extremely poor the whole day. Literally just unannounced closures of rides like sort of left, right and centre. It was a mess opening day, which is not normal for an Alton Towers opening day. But what I noticed today is actually been a pretty big improvement from opening day this year, because majority of the rides were fully operational and actually had decent operations. I mean, yeah, there were the odd couple of rides that were closed, but that's what you expect from a theme park. You don't expect every single ride to like operate smoothly all the time every day. Rides are going to have breakdowns, you know, that's totally understandable. What's not understandable is when a good majority of the attractions are closed for either mechanical reasons or staffing issues. But thankfully we've not really had any of that today, so it was definitely an improvement. So I think the next time I come here will be Scarefest when I come back in October, so make sure you stay tuned for when I come back, return to Alton Towers this Scarefest. But I want to thank you all very much for watching this video, and if you've enjoyed it then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you'd like to see in the next video. Goodbye.